Nah, it's like, this man's a modern day philosopher. Chessy. Like, and I mean, he goes by one name, like Plato, Aristotle, LUUKHANYO. Welcome to the GenC podcast. I'm Lisandro, who's with me as always.
Blessed with the best.
A very, very jovial smile. Elation. Happiness to be here.
Yeah.
JP Jackson, welcome
to you.
Hey! Juma Mubarak. This comes out on Wednesdays. To the audio listeners, someone doesn't understand scheduling. What up, Lyle?
I need to change the date.
Wait. Maybe there's people listening on a Thursday. Maybe. Yeah. Who do you have in the middle, JP?
But how are you doing, Nizan?
Oh. I'm in danger.
Oh,
Yeah.
We realize this now.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to just keep it. Disassociate. I'm not present. This is someone else. Anxiety keeps on trying me.
In the middle today, we have LUUKHANYO. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Do you know, just off the bat, like, whenever you see a LUUKHANYO like clip or whatever, people just comment Anderson Park. Dog. Oh my god, bro. How does it feel like? Because like Anderson Park is so goated.
He is.
He's literally one of my favorite artists.
It's a very it's been a bittersweet kind of thing with it. Because at first, like as an artist, you're trying to find your own voice and sort of like establish yourself. You don't want to be associated with anyone. But at the same time, I kind of see it as a nod. In some aspects, because people will say it out of respect. They're like, yo, you should be lucky that I'm putting you alongside my favorite artist. And I think it feels good in that light. But also, Miles Davis has a really interesting quote about something about like you learn to play like your favorites before learning how to play like yourself.
Okay.
And I think it's something that might have seeped in there. So
you also said that there's only two types of music, good and bad, and you make the former.
Yeah. what I will say, like in your defense, because like the Anderson Park comp is so fascinating because literally nobody sounds like that, man. But I think it's at least in my first reading, it's the nod that you have this. You sound really good. Firstly, just like full glaze. You sound really good. And you sound like you have the capacity to be a successful singer and a successful rapper. And I think if that's the lens that you're going to take it down, that's straight up. So, but LUUKHANYO, for our audience, I always like to ask this question to the guest. The question is, who is LUUKHANYO?
Bro, I don't know how to answer this question. But I think more so, I'm just a person, bro. I'm just a human being. I think we all are human beings here trying to find our place in the world. And I'm no different, I just have something that I love and I feel very passionately about. I think music is something very special. And I think I sort of discovered it as a child, and I didn't know the significance of it. And as I grow older and the more I get to play with it, I'm just someone who's getting to discover music and discover themselves through music. So that's...
And taking us along for the ride.
Of course.
But before you were LUUKHANYO, there was another name that you went by.
No, he's done. Oh my God.
And I mean, listen, being from Cape Town, that name sounds so fun, bro. Twas Alpha. He's like, shout out Twizzers, bro. Yo, bro, please, sorry, just because we all about reminiscing, all about traveling back in time. Just wild talk about Twizzers just for a bit.
Yo, I started rapping when I was very young.
Yeah.
And at the time, my favorite rapper, I think still to this day, my favorite rapper of all time is Lil Wayne. And, Weezy was like the going word or name for him. And I guess it's kind of derived from that in some way. I don't know how I landed at Twiz. But someday I just said Twiz and I was like, that's it. I'm like, that's it. We're going with that one. And I don't know. I kind of like at that time, I was madly obsessed with rap only. I didn't care about music. I didn't care about singing, nothing else. And I think, making that transition from Twiz to LUUKHANYO was me just arriving at a place where I felt like, okay, I've explored rap enough, but I think there's more for me to explore within myself. And then that's where LUUKHANYO came in. And also the significance, because the name itself means the distributor of light. Okay. And I was getting at a place with my art where I think that's what I wanted to embody, just to be able to share light with what I do wherever I go.
So you alluded to it earlier where you said you take inspiration from what you enjoy, right? And then you try and find your own voice. What is that process like? Because obviously you have to strip away the idea that I want to sound like that, and you try and find what do I actually sound like. So can you just describe how you found that process?
I think it wasn't intentional at the first, like when it started off, because think of a child, right? To express yourself, you learn how to speak, and you learn how to speak by listening to the people around you. So that's essentially what it was. It was me being a child and saying, yo, I think I have something to say, but, you know, without me thinking about it, I kind of just used the words that were familiar to me. And now I'm starting to read more, explore more. I'm like, okay, actually, no, I like this word better. This better defines the thing that I'm trying to say or defines me. And that's kind of how it's coming up. So I'll do stuff and then, you know, people will point it out before I even notice it. Like, oh, that reminds me a little of so-and-so. And I was like, okay, I didn't take note of that. But the more I do it, the more I start to be aware of it. That I'm like, okay, maybe this is what I like about this. It doesn't quite represent me. Then I take that and I kind of just build and put together with all the stuff that explain who I am.
I want to go back a little bit. I'm not going to do what JP does, because JP does some wild things, but JP doesn't know stuff about it.
No.
I'm scared.
But so, yeah, so what I want to sort of like get to know, it's crazy. It's actually wild. I want to get to know LUUKHANYO, the Cape Townian.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And what is your sort of like upbringing like with the city, with this town? And then also you spoke about actually growing up quite a bit outside of Cape Town. Yeah, just talk us through that.
Bro, I'm very passionate about Cape Town. I think Cape Town will always be home to me.
Love.
I moved around a lot when I was younger because my mom is in the army and so is my dad, and we had to move around from base to base around the country. And yeah, I think I'm very fortunate for that in hindsight, because I got to get exposed to a lot of things that a lot of my friends who grew up and never got to leave Cape Town weren't exposed to, and that shaped how they kind of perceive the world. And because I think because of that, I had more room to dream bigger, to just understand that there's a lot more accessible to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, being in Cape Town and seeing that there's a lot of people who live in the city where Cape Town has everything, bro. Everything that the world has to offer, but also has like extreme poverty, and the city is just so divided. And to have people who live in this place and not have access to so much that the city has to offer is kind of something that hurts me, and hopefully will get to change over time. But yeah, I really care about the city, man. I think it has a very, very interesting culture. And not just one, like we have a bunch of cultures, but somehow there's something that's so Cape Town about them, where even if like in the Xhosa community, there's stuff that Xhosa Cape Town people do that no other Xhosa people do. Same for, I imagine, the color community, where if you're a Cape Town color person, it's different from where else we come from. And there's something so distinct about Cape Town, and I think we have a lot to preserve. Because also right now, there's a lot of like influence coming in from outside. It's becoming like a major city. And I think our voices are at risk of getting lost in the process of that. So it's important for us to have platforms that kind of allow us to be able to speak and breathe the life of the city out.
And
he's good. He's good. Like a casual homage. I'm bringing it back to you.
And the C's for Cape Town.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, so wait, what's your culture? What's your background?
Xhosa. Yeah.
Because what is interesting that you mentioned that Xhosa in Cape Town is different to say Xhosa in Eastern Cape.
Very different, bro. And I think, Yeah, there's a lot more. Just like I feel there's a lot more suave with Cape Town. It's just a bit more cooler with it, you know. And also the influence that we have from like colored Afrikaans, the Cape Town Afrikaans is evident in how we speak.
Wow.
And yeah, colored people are some of the coolest people in the world, bro. So just the mix of that culture is like a best of both worlds kind of thing. So I think it's very different from Eastern Cape because we're exposed to different things, and yeah, we just like different things, I guess.
Because I find that with Cape Town, we do get accused of sort of like being too separate. To this day, still, we very much southern suburbs, northern suburbs. But you speak to the fact that there's evidence of the blend. There's evidence of the divergence that's happening, and I think that's actually what makes us uniquely Cape Town.
Yeah.
And so, in the spirit of like the fact that there's so many different subcultures, do you feel like that's something that you are a part of, or do you feel like? My question is, do you feel like as an artist you belong to a certain subculture, or do you feel you resonate more with Cape Town being so multifaceted, cosmopolitan, if you will?
I think I don't necessarily fall in with what I see happening around me.
Sure.
I think I'm a part of it, but I may be something new in a way, or maybe just the first of my kind, I feel. Because yeah, I do see stuff that happens around, but I don't quite see myself fitting in any box and being like, okay, I feel most represented around those people or these groups of people. But I kind of just like that. I think it allows me to move around with ease and just appreciate what everyone else is doing. Know that I don't need to be the same thing. There's room for everyone to exist and we can coexist. But I don't really see myself fitting in any box, if I'm being honest.
But the hardest part of doing that is obviously that you are the only one there. So how do you then battle the loneliness in that space, or does it fuel you?
I mean, I think it actually works to my favor. If it was like a bunch of people trying to do the same thing that I'm doing, it kind of makes it hard for me to stand out. Whereas right now I feel like there's at least that, you know, people are more willing to give me an ear locally because they're like, you're not like anything else that we hear out. And I kind of like that. I use that to my advantage because also I don't necessarily want to be like anything that has been seen before.
Yeah.
And not that I'm trying to pull from like international things, but just like I want to be able to show that I'm influenced by a lot of like overseas stuff.
Yeah.
But also I'm influenced by everything that I grew up seeing around me.
Yeah.
And how do I find that balance to paint a clear picture of who I actually am?
Yeah.
I want to go somewhere.
Let's go.
So okay. I think as an artist, and I speak with full ignorance, I think it is your prerogative to want to be unique, to be original, to be new, to be fresh, to give people just like open up your mind. However, as a consumer, we want familiar. And so how do you strike that balance of being both new, but at the same time still feel and sound like home? And I think part of your charm with your first major single, the hit High Roller, that was something that like all of us were like, whoa, slaps. But he's one of us. So it was a good strike of I'm fresh, I'm new, but I'm also yours.
Hey yo.
So yeah, so like because I can imagine, I hope you sort of got the question there, but I can imagine again that I'm an artist, I want to be fresh, I want to be new, but understanding the consumer, we want familiar. How do you strike that balance?
I honestly don't think about the consumer, bro. I'll be honest with you. I try my best to just do what I think feels right for me, because at the end of the day, I want it to be real. And if I don't care about it, I don't expect anyone else to care about it. So I try to do the thing that I care about most, so that even if it doesn't reach the masses, I think if I care enough about it, someone else should. And if it's making that big of an impact for someone else, I'd rather have that than have it be okay to millions of people. I'd rather have like 500 people be like, I can't live without this song, or this song changed my life.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, what matters most. So I don't think about how people are going to receive it. I'm a human being, bro. We all care. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo. Yeah, if I play that for someone and they're like, yo, shit is ass, bro, turn it off. But at the same time, I think it means so much when I get to play it for someone and they're like, yo, I'm so glad I heard this. Like this for me changes a lot. Like, you know, and that for me matters more than just it being a very cool song that everyone can get along with, but it doesn't really make anyone feel anything.
But I do find that also translates. So the more that you care about something and they can hear, you almost hear it in the music.
Yeah.
The audience that you are cultivating also then starts caring. And I think that's what makes it so special, in that you, like you said, you get the audience that you want that is invested in your journey.
Because that's what you want. I feel like we're building a relationship, bro. You know what I mean? If like, think about, you just met a girl and you're trying to get to know her and she only keeps saying things that she thinks you want to hear.
Yeah.
You aren't going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? You're just on a date with yourself.
This is a love doctor.
Amongst other things.
T's and C's apply.
But yeah, really
Link is
what
in
you want to
description.
get is you want to get someone who's just like being themselves. And that in some ways helps you. It works like a mirror. You know, like if I'm willing to show you parts of myself that, like, you know, you might be scared to share, it opens up the platform for you to be like, yo, okay, maybe I shouldn't be this scared to be myself. It's okay to be myself.
Yeah.
And I've heard some music and there's been artists who've inspired me that way, who like, I'll see this shit and I'll be like, oh, shit kind of wild.
Yeah.
And then maybe like 2-3 days later, I'm going back like, yo, okay, now I'm interested. Who's this person? I care about this because something about that made me feel like, yo, okay, there's room for me to exist. There's room for me to be myself. And I think you only achieve that by just being yourself genuinely and allowing other people to resonate with that, as opposed to just giving them something that I think they're gonna like.
So okay.
It's two things.
Yeah.
Two things.
Because at the same time, 100%, it is definitely two things. Thing number one is we're attracted to that authenticity, that permission to be ourselves, the permission to see ourselves, and I'm here for it. Thank you. However, I'm just like I'm the president of nuance today. And that is that, like, that's the naivety. That's the dream. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we have to make an album of 10 plus songs. And how much honesty can we truly hold?
Extract.
You know, extract. That's a good one. And I think this is where I want to sort of give you something that I don't think it matters to you. But this is where you are also talented, right? In that you sound really, really good. So you actually have the ability to mix and match both things that feel good and things that sound good. And so my question then to you is that, would that sort of help you with things like longevity? Or is it something for you where, like, you just want to do this authentic project and on to the next?
I think it's a bit of both. As much as I think about longevity and I want to have a full-on career, I also don't want to create a situation where I feel stuck or I've trapped myself in some sort of self-image that I feel like I can't escape out of it, even though I feel like I have nothing to pour into it anymore. So I think by me just like being 100% honest with myself, I get to at least know what it is that I truly want. Then it's up to me to be whether do I follow what I truly want or do I just continue to do what I think is going to please people. And for me,
because the reason I ask is because, like, in America or wherever other countries, a lot of those artists, they performers, they're not really songwriters. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rihanna, for example, the yellow songs is by Justin Bieber, Benny Blanco, and stuff like that. And then you can see, okay, cool, she's still super talented and we love her Rihanna song. We don't really care about the writer, no offense to you. But at the same time, I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm listening.
Get you back.
You know what I'm saying? And that type of, I think what I'm trying to get to is that, like, is it humility that you need to accept that, like, okay, cool, you're gonna write for me?
Fair. I don't know, bro. I'm kind of. I want to say, the pride in me wants to say I'll never let anyone write for me. But I've been on a very interesting path as of late, where I think I've really gone to accept this thing as a gift from a higher power.
Okay.
So I'm learning to distance myself from the actual gift itself, so I don't stand in the way of it. So, for example, I don't some songs. I feel like some things need to be created because the world needs them. And then I'm just an outlet. I'm not the source. And then I get to decide whether I'm going to show up for these things that need to exist and need to be created, or if I'm going to be like, I would never do a thing like this. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's something I'm still trying to figure out for myself. Yeah. I'm still holding on. I won't lie to the part that's like, I'll never let anyone write for me, because that's what I pride myself in. I feel like I can write some really good songs. Yeah. But also I never want to shut that door and prevent something beautiful from happening because I didn't want to get out of the way.
Sure.
Okay, wait. Nak is like, this man's a modern day philosopher. Chessy. And I mean, he goes by one name, like Plato, Aristotle, LUUKHANYO. Yeah. All glazed, all glazed. Okay, easy one. Would you write for others?
Yes.
Okay.
I've done that a few times before. I think if I'm being honest, that's where I thrive the most. Because as I said, I came back from a rap background, and your rapping is all about what you can write and what you can perform coming from your own mind. Yeah. And that kind of taught me to play with words and be very comfortable with them. And now that I'm learning more about melody and harmony and all these other aspects to music, I'm just extending that skill to the new skills that I'm learning. Yeah. So I do like writing for other people, definitely.
So I think another one part is the writing of the songs. I mean, the second part is obviously the performing thereof. Which one do you find more leans towards your passion? Yeah. Or do you find that they kind of complement each other?
They do complement each other. And there's also times they sway, bro. To bring it back to a relationship, I don't know, you ever be with the partner for a while and then it kind of...
A long time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? At some points it's kind of dry. You're like, yeah, I love this person, but you're boring me right now. You know what I mean? And I don't know what it is. Sometimes I get to a place where maybe I'm performing a lot and then I'm kind of burnt out and I'm like, yo, I just don't want to be on stage right now and I want to be in the studio. And sometimes I'm in the studio so much and I made all this music. Now I'm excited to be back out there and get to share this with people. I think it's a really... It's a balance for me because I feel more naked and vulnerable in studio because there's room to mess up and just try stuff. But I feel like on stage, although there is room to play around, it still needs to be at a place where people can digest it. You know what I mean? Where in studio, I can mumble for 20 minutes on top of a beat and then words only come later. And then, we don't, there's no room for judgment. It doesn't need to be perfect. There's room for just stuff to come out. Or on stage, it kind of needs to be a bit more polished up so people can, consume it as it happens.
So now you have taken some time to curate this project that you've been working on. And now you're in the process of showing this to the world. What do you want people to take out from it?
Yeah.
Bro, it's an interesting one.
Because to your point, you were able to be vulnerable in that space. And now you're going to let people have a listen and they're going to also be able to consume that. And now potentially, hopefully, you get to then perform this in spaces where people want to see that what the art portrayed.
Yeah.
So what would you like them to experience?
I think I would want them to have a good time, but also it's not my place to say. I think it's my place to just make the stuff, and then after that, how people take it is kind of up to them. Yeah, I just have to put it out there. Because also, there's no guarantees that anyone is going to receive it the way that I put it out. And also, I don't believe that one thing can satisfy everyone.
Yeah.
I think something, you can care about it a lot. And you could be like, it's my favorite thing. And someone can listen to it or hear it and look at it and be like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about, son. This shit is whack. And it's that, I think. So for me, I just kind of make the stuff, I put it out, and then how people consume it is up to them.
On this idea of like the product, right? So switching over to performances, right? Because it's evident, it's clear you are an artist, right? You enjoy the process, if you will. But now there's also the performer that in you, right? And the people that you perform with, especially with the hit High Rollers, talk about them, the High Rollers.
The High Rollers.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's that sort of origin story? Where'd that come about?
So I was playing, I had these few shows that we had gotten, I think. Was I working with Zonda at the time? Yeah, not then. But yeah, we had these shows that I got, and I was gonna play with the band for the first time, and I hadn't played with the band before, and I was promoting the song High Roller. Yeah. So it just kind of sounded nice to say LUUKHANYO and the High Rollers. I thought, oh, this would be something really cool. And then it was a 3-piece at the time. Blessing, the guy who plays keys for the actual High Rollers right now, was part of the original High Rollers.
Okay.
And then Prod 9 was on drums. And some guy called The Architect was on keys. Wow. And then we had Chili Bass on bass. And then after a few shows, we kind of started to disperse because people had to leave. And then Blessing brought a new group of musicians that he was playing with under a different name. And then we kind of just kept the High Rollers name. And then it kind of just worked. And we were like, I was like, yeah, now the boys earned it. I kind of have to keep this one because, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so with performances and stuff like that, are there spaces and venues that you enjoy performing to the most? Are there, let's just stay there. No negatives. No negatives.
I mean, the Commons in Musenberg, I really love performing there.
Okay. You went specific.
Yeah, I really enjoy. I love Musenberg as a town. I think it's just such a beautiful place, and the energy there. I don't know, something about it I really enjoy.
Commons,
so.
we performed at the Commons.
Oh yeah,
why did we perform? Who knows?
Now I'm interested. The Commons. Some of them has to be some festival shows. The amphitheater show we did in Swaziland for MTN Bushfire was really nice.
Amazing.
There's a show we did in Eastern Europe that was really, really beautiful. It was also like an amphitheater kind of vibe. And the lights were kind of amazing. They did something where I think they connected the lights to the drummer. And every time he drummed like insanely, like the lights would go crazy. And then when he stops, it would be like a spotlight. It was, my God, probably my favorite show to date. House of Machines is always a favorite. I always love going back there. Trying to think. The Avalon Theatre is also a really cool venue as well. I think there's a few that's not coming to mind. But
so then, to that, where would you want to perform? So that we can timestamp it and say,
we just want to be the first to know. We know what to ask to make.
I think, the Waterfront Amphitheater. The one, I think I could do a really nice show there. I really enjoy like intimate shows.
Yeah.
Because there's more room to connect with the people, you know what I mean? You want to really be there and be able to engage with them. And I like that, a setup where people aren't too far away from me, but the stage setup is kind of nice, so there's production value, but I can still really connect with the people in front of me.
Nice.
So that was my question, and you answered it. Because I find that like you get these artists who are like, they made for festivals. They're made for the largest crowd possible because like the energy is just too much to contain in a small stage. Right? Versus some people who are like, they are at home with the smaller crowd. And I do, like, you have a tenderness to you, and it does sort of translate that would be like your go-to if you could choose.
Or even if like I can, when we're doing a festival shows, I'd like to experiment with the stage and how we create that sort of intimacy and make people feel like it's just
bring
like
the bathtub with milk.
Hey, maybe not a bad idea. I swear this milk tub is gonna haunt me for the rest of my career. Cigarette. Yo. Shout out that milk bathtub. It did stuff. I think that's a lot of people's like first introduction. To me.
I mean, it stays. You're seeing this little cocoa pop in the mug. It's crazy.
It's just the his black face sticking out.
I can't believe I just called him that. I'm taking a self time out. No, but at the same time, hold up. So, hold up.
Sheesh.
What just happened? So, because you've kind of touched on it now, the ability to sort of like curate and cultivate your own stage, and I think as you've grown as an artist, what are some of the things that you've grown into now? Directing, producing. What are some of the fun things that you've learned along the way?
Yes, definitely. Directing has been almost a revelation. I think it makes sense how I approach music. I think now I gain more clarity off of that because I love storytelling.
Okay.
And to be able to tell a story is what basically directing is.
Wow.
And now to be able to be in a place where I'm able to create music videos that are not just like music videos of me performing the song. I'm excited for the music video for Open Casket. I think it's going to start to open up the direction I'm actually stepping into, is to being able to make sort of films off of music videos, and hopefully that is a stepping stone to making actual films in the long run. And that's something I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
So what sort of films would you want to make?
I think there for me, I find I have more room to really speak about Cape Town and my upbringing and my origins, and you know the city that I'm from, and really the culture and the people that we have here. There's obviously the favorite directors such as Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, the Safdie brothers, and you know taking influences for some of my favorite films. City of God is probably my favorite film.
That's a Brazilian movie.
The Brazilian movie. It's shot in such a documentary style way where you really get to connect with the people. It feels like people that you've been known all your life. As you watch these characters, it feels like no one's acting. And there's something about that I'm very drawn to, where it takes away the fact that it's me watching a film. It feels like, I'm just like invading on people, kind of just like watching them, as they live their life. And something about that allows you to really connect. There's a movie, now that everyone's talking about Sinners, Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler's first movie together, Fruitvale Station. And that one also has a very documentary-esque thing where you kind of like, you follow this guy around and you really get to know him. And by the time they bring you to the climactic parts of the movie, you feel like that's someone you know. You can't believe that they're doing that to a friend of yours. And there's something about that, being able to bring someone into the movie themselves and them being a part of the experience.
Is this studied or just experience?
Experience.
You're just resonating with this.
Yeah. I was studying accounting, bro.
2 episodes in a row.
Hey, accounting
is getting just yes, I am. But I went all the way.
I ran away.
So you said both your parents are in the military.
Yeah.
So, I mean, military is known for being very rigid, right? Yet you explore art in such an interesting way. What was it about that environment that allowed you to explore these aspects?
I think it was more rebelling, bro. Just like I saw what they had to offer, and I was like, this is not what I want for myself. You know, and I think it's a very interesting thing because my mom was born in a time in apartheid, right? So she couldn't really be much. There were very limited jobs that she could choose from. And then she worked to get to this place where now, you know, people of color are able to get any job that they want. But she didn't really get to develop her perspective on the world. So she didn't get to dream as big as I could, because that's the world that she worked to create for me, but she doesn't quite understand it. So in some ways, I had to really be like stubborn and
she worked to create the world that she doesn't understand.
Yeah, because all she knows is the world that she existed in. You know? She doesn't like understand the idea of like, you're a black kid in this time and you want to, after I've worked so hard to pay school fees, you want to sing on stage and you're expecting money to come from this. And I'm telling her, like, we live in a different time. There's the internet, there's access to me going overseas. People are loving this in places I've never ever been. And that doesn't translate to her, you know? So for even to this day, sometimes I have to find myself like being very stubborn, like, yo, this is what I want. And I appreciate what it is that you've built for me, but I'm taking full advantage of it. You just don't see it. It's not in a way that you would have anticipated, you know? Because for her, the more prestigious job is being the accountant or being a doctor or being a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can make money off of Fortnite. You can play games and be a millionaire. So I'm like, yeah, there's so much that you're not grasping right now, but just have faith that I'm doing good.
Yo, No, because I was gonna start the sentence with your mom, and I was like, slow down.
Take it easy now.
Slow it down. But yeah, like it's just coming back to she worked hard to create a world that she doesn't understand. Because I mean, we worked hard for freedom that we might not be able to live in. You know what I'm saying? And I think the gift that you give back to her is really abusing that freedom.
And making the most of it. You know, I think there's a certain responsibility that I don't know if we feel it or if we talk about it enough as people of color in our generation, where we're in a time right now where, granted, we are free, but there's a lot that goes into really liberating people. You know what I mean? Making them understand like how free they actually are, the things that are accessible to them and how far they can go. And right now I feel like we're in a place where, granted, physically we do have access to these things, but mentally we don't have the understanding or the capacity to know, to like, we haven't taken it in. They're like, yo, we really can go as far as we want to.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping is we understand is our responsibility to really see how far we can go, and also make the generation that comes after us understand that, yo, there's really no limit to where you can take it.
We, JP and I guess, and Lyle, we've accidentally stumbled into success with this platform. And our goal right now... Excuse me?
Relative.
No, you're doing good. Come on now.
No, the fact that we...
the fact that we
get artists who are signed from labels from London, it's bars. You know what I'm saying? It's internationally recognition.
Hey,
worldwide.
But like for us, we are curators of safe space. Yeah. And no matter how far we go from here, we've already made it. We've already I'm happy with this podcast. This is success already. My question to you is, because you are a bit of a genius, maybe a lot of a genius, what will making it look like for you?
I think for me, when I'm at a place where there's an equal playing field for everyone, I want to change the world, but I want to start with Cape Town. Where if everyone in Cape Town has access to be able to pursue what they want to pursue, I think I can die a happy man, bro. Or if I can even just plant those seeds and die in a place where I know that people are nurturing that garden, I'm at peace.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. That's crazy. No, because like, okay.
Are you the director?
No. So okay. So I'll be honest with you. I'm having like a resonance moment right now, and I just feel like I've never met you. We've never met.
Yeah.
But I feel like you are tapping straight into my soul, and I had a feeling that you were gonna say you want to change the world. I don't know why. Like that's actually quite crazy. That's actually quite, because obviously you have an attraction to art and fashion, but the signifier between the two of that is uniqueness and being yourself. And I think that from what I understand right now is that you just want everyone to be themselves right now.
Bro, like literally, I think even something as little as having like honest conversations. Right now we have this whole thing where people are scared to speak their truth, right?
Yeah, sure.
What that eventually does is no one gets to be themselves. No one gets to understand if they're messing up or doing anything right, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So people will be more comfortable being shitty people in private and then we all dress up and we pretend like we are something, but so no one gets to really work on themselves because we all too busy acting like we already the worked on versions of ourselves. And I feel like when you have room to be yourself, room to mess up, room to be corrected and try again, that really creates a much better space or room for progress or for things to get better because people are actually trying and also getting the grace that they need to fail, bro. Fail is a big part of success and just understanding and being able to see, oh, I was doing this wrong. Now I need to do it a different way. But if you never knew you were doing it wrong in the first place, you'll never get to the place where you get to work on it. Mm-hmm. And everyone having the room for that, I think, is something that's very important.
And now I have to ruin your day, bro. Like, you came all this way, and now I have to ruin your day, bro. Why do I do this?
Yes, tell him how you're going to ruin his day.
Yeah, so we are about to do the games from the bowl. So the first one, 2 challenges, if you will. And we're going to try and help you this side of the table, JP and Lau. And so I have 2...
Full disclaimer, we were told that these questions are terrible.
They're diabolical.
Diabolical. That was the word.
That's the word I heard.
I'm actually going to do this one first because I feel like this one's worse. And so I'm going to make you blind rank.
Okay.
Top 5 rap albums.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the names. You're going to blind rank them in order 1 to 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Blind rank.
And we have to come to a collective decision.
One by one.
Yeah.
Or collective decision.
No. Like, you are the leader. They must just follow.
Yeah.
And in the comments, I want you to roast us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start off easy.
Okay.
Kanye West, College Dropout.
Oh.
Easy. It starts easy.
Bro, this is tricky. Because there are albums that I love more than
you
that.
don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, it's coming
that's the crazy
next.
part. I put this on 4 and everything is...
The same thing is 3, bro.
3. Same thing is
It has
3.
to be. It has to be.
But
3.
now just watch.
Because there's stuff that's better.
Yeah. J. Cole Forest Still Drive, 2014.
Oh.
I like that more than College.
For me, I'd put that on 2.
Yeah.
I'd put that on 2.
Yeah, same.
Healthy too.
Same.
Yeah.
Also 2.
It is.
You can hear.
Now it's gonna get
There's too
spicy.
many. There's only one up.
Already.
Now it's gonna
Already.
get
Yeah.
spicy.
Drake, nothing was the same.
That's a 5.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Like respectfully for me, Drake makes some of the best music we've enjoyed for our generation,
Yeah.
right?
That's crazy.
But the thing is, for me, he's never been an album artist.
Yeah.
And his
I
albums,
agree.
if he peaked with Nothing was the same, that was for me his best project, his
That's why I
album.
brought it up.
Yeah, but even in the context of the albums that I really love, he doesn't rank that high.
I
For
just
me.
love how decisive you guys
Yeah.
are.
Blueprint
I'm
1.
Blueprint 1.
H to the ESO.
I'd put that on 4. I'm not a big Jay-Z fan.
Yo, this list is perfect.
So then,
Joke's on you, bro.
Jokes on you. The last album is Love's Gonna Get You.
yeah.
But it's gonna be the death of you and me. Damn.
Let's go. That's number 1.
This is why he's a genius.
Yeah.
We in the presence of a god.
Calm down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm trying to do it. So this is build your perfect rapper.
Ooh.
But you can't use any rap artists.
Oh.
Okay. What do I use?
So now you must stretch yourselves.
Okay.
That's why this is a group activity.
Okay.
Okay.
So what
The
can we
comments,
use?
like literally anybody else.
But
Rap artists.
so
Like,
okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna read out an ability, and then you give a person that would
Okay.
be a great.
Okay.
You get me?
I get
so
you,
like,
I
for
get you.
example, voice.
Okay.
Whose voice will be great on a rapper?
I don't know, something about Martin Luther King's voice is just it carries so
this
much.
one is locked in.
The delivery of that is I feel like it'll be up there.
It does sound smooth. It does sound
Yeah.
smooth.
Locked in, that's great.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Did you want it to be like anyone or
Anybody.
artists?
Anybody.
Oh,
Anybody.
like
Anybody.
literally anyone.
Except rap
Right,
artists.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant other artists.
No,
No,
okay.
literally
Oh,
anybody.
okay.
Yeah, okay,
I
so
like this.
so voice, okay, Martin.
Yeah, I'm
we
down with
agree.
that.
We
I'm
got
down with
them,
that.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Writing ability.
Oh, I want to say Maya Angelou.
He's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking, bro. Like your plot is failed, bro.
No weapons formed against.
Okay, here we go. Crowd work.
Ooh, I don't know why, but I'm going to like Black freedom fighters. I'm thinking Huey Newton. It was a guy back in
Is he part of like the Black Panthers or something?
yeah
I was gonna say Elvis.
Yo.
Elvis, the singer Elvis.
Yeah.
Interesting
For crowd work.
for crowd work.
Well, you
I'm not an Elvis fan, bro. I don't like what he represents.
Okay.
He's like the old school Drake. If you think about it, let's draw some parallels, bro. Let's draw some parallels.
He's splitting because we watched that movie.
Yeah.
We watched that
No,
movie.
for sure. For
Where it
sure.
started.
You know,
sure.
so
That's
shout
crazy.
out Elvis, but no, not Elvis.
That's
Let's
crazy.
keep thinking. Who else?
Think who works with crowds?
Crowds. I don't know. Something
I kinda
about
like his answer, bro.
Yeah.
Because,
A freedom fighter.
fighters, bro. They get a
they
whole
rile
stadium,
you.
bro.
They'll rile you up, bro.
They
Julius
get a
Malema.
It's
whole
either that
stadium,
or like
bro.
okay,
Julius
not
Malema.
him.
Yeah.
He does the job, but like we don't want the job he's doing.
Hey, Juju.
Yeah, not him.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's either that or like pastors, bro. Pastors can be very charismatic and the swagger of a pastor is just like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna stamp you. Discography.
Ooh,
But you have to stretch yourself and think about it. Who would actually have a body of work?
Yo,
I'm thinking like some sort of author.
Yeah, me also.
I was thinking author, but I thought a painter might be better. And I think I have the perfect
Yeah,
painter,
that- okay.
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay.
I think he
Now he's cooking.
He would be the guy.
He's cooking. He's chef boy.
And finally, flow.
Yo, you failed. Bro.
served you up. Come on, let's serve him up.
Yo, you failed.
Flo. Who we say for Flo? I'd say I'm gonna choose a director, one of my favorite directors, Wes Anderson. He's very meticulous about how he paces
Fantastic
his
Mr.
movies.
Fogg,
Yeah, and the timing and the pacing.
The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Bro, like even some of it looks like it's done to a metronome because someone will speak at a certain cue, the camera will pan at a certain cue, and then everything, it'll zoom out and all of a sudden the town comes to life as if everyone was waiting for a certain cue to start moving. That's like, I love that attention to detail.
You weren't familiar with his game, bro.
No, listen. You know what I call this? Failed tasks.
It's okay, dog. You'll get there. Go back to the gym.
It's so good. And there's another game we play on the show. It's a series of hypothetical questions, and it's a game we like to call Say Man Now. So you just
Have
give
you
you a
ever
scenario.
heard a colored person say, "You're saying my now, maybe what?"
Simon, now.
Well,
Bro, I lived in Saldana when I was doing 7th grade, and I perfected how to speak in a colored accent because I used to get bullied for how I spoke. So like, yo, I can bust into one like anytime. Best believe anytime.
Say Man Now, you were sponsored by a clothing brand, but it would mean you could only wear their clothing. Which brand would it be?
It's a good question.
Good.
Hurtful, but a good question.
Really good. For a range of reasons, probably say Nike, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like my go-to kind of style.
Yeah.
but I think there's a lot more range to find
Versatility.
there.
Yeah.
And also, like, growing up, that was like the style that I started off, like street style, wearing Nikes was the thing when I was growing up. Or wasn't the thing around me. Everyone around me was wearing Cavelas and skinny jeans. I was just standing out, like sagging my pants wearing Nikes. And yo, to this day, bro, to this day, they used to look at me funny at the crib. They're like, you weird, dog. What's this stuff? Go get your pants tightened up. But it'll probably have to be Nike. Yeah, for the kid in me. Yeah. I can just picture it if I was like 10 years old getting like a batch of Nike stuff. I'd go crazy. I'd go crazy.
Is that?
Mine's the same reasoning, but it's Adidas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have brand loyalty.
I know. That's
Yeah.
why I knew this question would be like tough for you.
Yeah, I have brand loyalty. Anyway, wear the same clothes. Anyway, dude. I don't know, bro. Cause we had a question similar to this of like, if you had to wear one item of clothing for the rest of your life, what would it be? And I was like, a salah top.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm literally thinking of the whatever brand is the best salah top, bro. Run me that shit, bro. You know, because like, when I think about it, I hope to be Muslim for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like I wear that. I swear I wear that the most. A salah top.
No,
So like if I can have that, like, yo, bruh, like a Dubai Habib. A
Looking like
Dafa top
money.
type thing. Yeah, you get me.
Probably the same the range. I'm on Adidas Antrim. But Pick n Pay clothing can
That's freak random. You say you want food also in the mix. That's cock funny.
Yeah.
You real for that. You actually real for that.
Damn. Sema now, you could select 2 artists to create an album together. Who would they be?
With you or like just like
Just by
on
themselves.
some Bruno Mars, Anderson.
Yeah.
Bro, I
Two
literally,
random artists.
before they dropped that, I was like, they need to.
Yeah.
It would make and it made so
It
much
was
sense.
so good.
It was such a good album.
I was like praying that they would have come to like South Africa with it.
Low key. Do you know what I miss? Some Jay-Z Linkin Park type collab.
okay.
Because that was transformative.
Yeah.
bro.
That was good.
That was
Yeah.
that was
was
something special.
Sure.
Sure.
Collision course.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it would probably be, I'd like 2 artists from different generations. And one artist I'm going to mention is probably very controversial. It's Kanye.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
The old guy.
The old Kanye.
The old Kanye. Oh, bro, what this guy's doing
Kanye.
to us is tense. I can't even bring it up in a conversation right now. I have to excuse myself. Him and Nina Simone. What them 2 would make. I'm really interested.
Phew.
It's 2 different worlds.
Yeah, I like that.
But Kanye has sampled Nina in quite a lot of records already. And I think, something really, really special would happen there.
I would like a Lauryn Hill J. Cole album.
Ooh.
I think
would be
that's
good.
that would.
That would be good.
They gave me chills, bro.
Yeah,
That
that
was
would be
so.
That would be really good.
God damn.
That would be really good.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's.
Yeah, the
let's-
buzz.
Yo, the
Oh,
boys. Like it's busted wide open. Okay, whoa. Damn. Because I was thinking, okay, cool. I want to experience Bob Marley straight up. Let's go. Bob Marley.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, because I was going to go Bob Marley and J. Cole, but I'm like, whoa, hold up. Okay, Bob Marley. Okay. So there's this band, what's it called? The song is called It's All About the Confidence, Baby. Ocean Alley or something like that, man. And then that made me realize that like the reggae sound and rock music, like it's like it sounds thicker. So give me Bob Marley and because I'm going crazy. Paramore, bro.
Oh,
Hayley Williams.
Yeah. Yeah?
Give me that.
Mm.
I don't
can
know,
see
bro.
that.
Like, let's just
Mm,
let's see
I
what
can
that
mix
does.
that up.
Let's see what this
Yeah,
does,
I
bro.
can
Is it
see
gonna
that.
be Durban curry Maggie 2 minute noodles? What's it gonna be, bro?
through with that
Yeah.
Durban but it's also
High
great.
risk, high reward.
It's
bro.
also a great audience question, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you could have two artists create an album, who
Mm.
would you choose?
Oh, yeah, I want to see the comments.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's,
I was in danger.
that sounds good.
That's big. Bro.
I was in danger.
That's big.
Okay, so at the end, because we actually we have to go home.
Damn. It's that time already.
Oh, it's that time already.
And you still didn't ruin his day.
I'm gonna sleep so peacefully.
Wait, hold on. When does this come out, Solo Son?
2 weeks.
2 weeks time is the 12th,
No. Today's the 6th.
so 11th of June.
No, it's
Oh,
a
No,
16.
today's the 6th. So it'll be like 2 weeks
Oh,
20.
okay,
from 21.
So it's
21.
after.
21. Okay, so 21st of June. Open casket would have been out for a week.
Mhm.
Or we can let it drop the day.
Oh, okay. Move this episode up.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, hey, yo.
Oh.
We've got flexibility. bro.
Okay.
So if you want us to drop the 7th, it can. I mean,
Yeah.
not the 7th, the 14th.
Mm.
Oh,
That's
Okay.
the other,
So just
that's
before.
the other option.
The
Okay.
day after, just the day
just
after.
as the day after.
Day
yeah.
after.
Yeah, we like you just spoken.
Hey, okay.
So we like to give the guest an opportunity to do two things.
Yeah.
Number one is plug, promote, share with us.
So
Just
I'll speak like it's already out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first single off of the album titled Open Casket just released. We have a music video coming up for that as well. We have a few more singles lined up, and then eventually we're going to put out the full project, which I'm very excited for. The project is best enjoyed as one package, one thing that you consume. We took a lot of time into, making sure that the songs flow in a particular way, it tells a certain story. And for the most part, I'm just excited to have this thing out there. I've lived with this thing, and I've got to grow around it, and to be able to be in a place to have it out there and have people really enjoy it for themselves and have a life of its own is stirring up some excitement in me.
Mm.
So yeah, looking forward to the album single coming out. Enjoy.
So tell us, where can we find it? Where can we find you?
So the single is dropping on all streaming platforms. You can get it Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, literally anywhere you like to listen. The music video will be out on YouTube. I'll post some glimpses of it on Instagram as well. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at LUUKHANYO is art. LUUKHANYO spelled LUUKHANYO. Yes, sir.
So I mean, I know we are doing this before, but I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be, and I just wish it all the best, because obviously, like I mentioned, it's lived with you for a little while. So allow us a little glimpse into what that is.
Yeah.
And again, thank you for coming out. I think we've been.
I just feel like, are you gonna ask him the question?
No, you can ask. me the
Oh
question.
God, because I'm like, you can do this question now. This guy. Anyway, so LUUKHANYO, sorry. We also like to give the guest an opportunity to do a second thing,
Okay.
and that is provide a message to your younger self.
Mm.
I know.
He wasn't going to end the episode.
Low-key was. That's why I asked him, are you going to ask the question? Sorry. Please.
All right. To my younger self, I'd say it's okay to not be perfect. If anything, embrace yourself as you are and really start to understand that there's a way that you are the way you are and the significance in your existence, and embrace who you are and open yourself up to love and to the world. I think, not everyone is out to get you. And you'd be surprised that there are more people who are actually trying to root for you and support you in your path, and spread love. And even when you get hurt, don't let that stop you from showing love, spreading love.
Take us home, Lisa.
Oh, wait. Now his hand can say thank
Take
you.
us home.
I want to say Thank you very much for your time. I'm
Don't
so
forget to
sorry
ask
you
the
have to see this. We are actually friends. And we will remain friends. even after this.
Allegedly.
We really hope so.
The timestamp here is 2 weeks.
I'm gonna ask a bonus question so that JP can forgive me, and that is that like, because you speak about listening to the album in its order. How do you feel about albums like that? That's like, oh, they slap in the order, or they slap if you shuffle that bitch.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. If you shuffle that bitch, it's just a playlist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm with him on that.
And that's the difference.
I'm
That's
with
the
him on
difference.
that. I'm with him on
Yes,
that.
You know what I mean?
so please watch all our episodes in order. So if you do like this
JP is the funniest guy on earth, bro.
and we are